Red Flags of Emotional Repression Part 44, Whiplash. So, there's an interesting phenomenon that happens in KI when people are doing emotional repression work, which of course is a deep, somatic deconstruction of your beliefs, belief systems, and identities. All of which, usually unbeknownst to us, are keeping us locked into suffering states like depression, anxiety, addiction, and chronic pain because they're sitting on top of the real root of suffering, which of course is the repression of buried emotions. In effect, it would be like if you had a badly infected but treatable wound on your leg that was causing you a lot of pain. And instead of dressing it, cleaning it, and tending to it so it could heal, you decided to solely take painkillers for the pain. This is what beliefs and identities ultimately do for human beings. They keep us from facing reality. In this case, our buried repressed emotions. So in this way, they're drugs. So back to the interesting phenomenon that happens during emotional repression inquiry, which also happens to be a microcosm of a macrocosm. I'll explain that momentarily. When people are deprogramming from a long-held worldview, belief system, or identity, it takes a while, right? And it's not a one-time thing. You have to keep sort of chipping away at it because you're trying to make something that's been really deeply unconscious in the body progressively conscious over a period of time. So, even though a lot of challenging emotions come up in the process of emotional repression work, the first thing that happens as you start to deprogram is relief. Opening, expansion, right? Because you're taking the unseen thing that's had a grip on you off of the back of your neck and you're looking at it directly. You're making it conscious. But then, between that moment of relief and the next time that you pick up the tools comes a whiplash or a backlash of egoic suffering. Now, this whiplash or backlash is a relatively common occurrence in other spiritual practices, but it's especially intense in KI because of the nature of deprogramming. It's basically your beliefs, identities, and worldviews rushing back in between processings to try to do the job that you're progressively putting them out of. Which, of course, is to keep you in emotional repression and suffering, because that's what's been safe to us for so long. So that's on an individual level. Now, here we are in the collective evolution of consciousness, which we've made some pretty serious strides in since the late 60s in terms of breaking down old systems that aren't working for us that well anymore. And surprise, surprise, we're in a whiplash period. We're collectively having an egoic backlash as we deprogram. It's sometimes said, when the mailman knows you're about to move, he delivers all your mail. Now, this has happened several times over the course of my life, and what it's historically felt like is people getting scared and trying to pull the past into the present, right? It's like a desperate scramble to keep things the way they were, even if that way caused a lot of suffering, which in my view seems both boring and ultimately futile, because when it comes to the evolution of human consciousness, you can't stop the train once it's left the station. I mean, you can try, but you're probably going to get run over. It waits for no one, and whiplash is a temporary, minor inconvenience at best. So, here are two things that I think will be very helpful if you're struggling with individual or collective whiplash. Hurt and vulnerability repressors. Instead of believing things, do whatever work necessary to get in touch with your buried hurt and vulnerabilities so you can learn to feel and express it, preferably to the VIPs in your life. Anger repressors, same thing but with anger. Dig it up, learn to feel and express it, especially to authorities, because if not, you're going to get run over. Now is not the time for kumbaya anger repressors. Now is the time for speaking up and setting boundaries. And for either repressor type, if you're not yet able to do this kind of expression, it just means that you're still in some degree of emotional repression. And if that's the case and you'd like to, reach out to my friend Dan at the link in caption or bio. He can help you resolve it.